If we tested sound, can people hear us? Can we hear you?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, I'm not sure if I've heard anybody in the library.
Yeah. Is your Spotify on?
I can hear you now.
Oh,
Yeah, we
okay.
can hear you now, Meredith.
I'm not sure what happened. All right. That's working.
All seems good now. I have 6 o'clock. Sure. Everybody ready to call to order? Okay, go ahead and call the meeting to order. Would all who wish join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So there's one proposed agenda adjustment, good news adjustment, add in a 8AI.1. So under hiring recommendations of the OMS high school choir teacher, I would make a motion to adjust the agenda to add that item. Is there a second? I didn't hear anything. I see a hand up, but I'm not hearing anything. Do we have a problem with sound again? Can we just try that again? Was there a second? Still. Try again.
Here.
Okay, I hear that. Yep.
So I second your motion, Brian.
Okay, I could see your hand, but I think officially it has to be verbal. So All right, seconded. Any discussion? We'll go ahead and vote. We have to do a roll call. So Jake? For the agenda adjustment? Not
Closer.
heard it. I assume that was an aye, Jake? Okay, I still don't think I'm hearing anything. Mark, what was your vote?
Aye.
I did hear that. Okay, I also vote aye. The agenda's adjusted. That was harder than it should have been. Hopefully it's going to work. All right, on to minutes. I would make a motion to approve the minutes of the, let's do it in temporal order, the June 20th, 23 workshop. Is there a second? As
Second.
presented? Thank you. Any discussion or adjustments? We'll go ahead and vote. Jake?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
I also vote aye. Move on to the minutes for the regular June 20th meeting. Make a motion to approve it as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Any adjustments? Go ahead and vote. Jake? I missed that again.
Aye.
Okay. Mark?
Aye.
Okay. I also vote aye. That passes. Make a motion to approve the minutes from July 20th as presented. Is there a second? Okay. Any adjustments? Go ahead and vote. Jake?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Wow, there we go. It seems to be really cutting in and out. I also vote aye. And I would make a motion to approve the July 25th minutes as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any adjustments? Go ahead and vote. Jake?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
I also vote aye. That passes. Make a motion to approve warrants 26, 26A, 26B, 26C, 1 and 2, and payroll warrants 26, 1 and 2, main purse for June, fuel warrants 5 and 6, and ban warrant 39. Is there a second? Okay, I barely heard that, but I heard a noise, so that had sounded like second. Any discussion on the warrants? We'll go ahead and vote. Jake?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
I also vote aye. Warrants pass 3-0. Is there any public comment? Don't see any on Zoom. I assume there's none in the room. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to acknowledgements. I just, it's the opposite of an acknowledgement. I hope most of our staff are not thinking about school at all and still have a few more days of freedom and that they're enjoying that. And to all of you who are not so lucky and who are here with us, thank you for your work through the summer. Yeah. Jake, any acknowledgements?
Acknowledge everybody who participated.
Okay, we can move on. I couldn't actually hear that. There's still quite a bit of chopping on the sound. I could tell Jake was speaking, but I couldn't tell what he said. Mark, any acknowledgements? Okay, I see you shaking the head. I didn't hear anything. Meredith, any acknowledgements?
Just the one that's listed on the agenda, the girls' basketball donation from an anonymous donor for $500. Did you hear that?
I did, yes, thank you.
But I would also just add the, thanks to the work that's happened around here this summer to get the buildings ready and the, envelope stuff to mail out to students, all of that's been happening and lots of hard work behind the scenes. So appreciative of the 12-month staff who've been doing that.
It's not an acknowledgement exactly, but I'll just note we have the new board goals on the agenda too. So thanks to the entire community for helping to work on those. Next up, we have reports. We'll start with principal reports. Carrie.
Good evening, everyone. It seems really hard for me to believe that we're at this point in the summer. We have been so busy with so many things, and I feel like the door keeps opening every day with people coming in to register, which is wonderful. So it's just, an exciting time as we're gearing up for the school year. But dialing back to about 2 weeks ago when summer school wrapped up, we had some really great things that were happening during summer school this year, thanks to Tracy Lehan, who was able to coordinate with some students from the Ecology and Wildlife Bio Department to come in and speak with our students on a few different topics. They came in and they did activities related to Maine birds in particular, and things around salamanders and amphibians. And there were, I believe, 3 or 4 different students that Tracy mentioned that were able to come on site and spend some time with both our extended school year students and summer stars. So that was a really nice collaborative there. Also, a shout out to Ms. Murphy, who, although it's summertime and as the librarian, she's not working, but she felt as though it was really important to help our summer school students engage in a reading challenge that was a collaborative between the library and actually Wendy's restaurants. And students who completed so many readings were able to earn a free Frosty, which she herself actually delivered to the school for the students. So shout out to Erin for being on site and continuing to support our students' literacy needs. That was really wonderful. Also, some big thank yous to people helping to support the ASA office this summer. Lynn Gray has been a huge instrumental help in getting some ordering done and helping our temporary summer person charge forward with invoicing and checking in orders and things like that. So thank you to Lynn, and also thank you to Jacob Clark, who is actually an ed tech on our staff who has stepped in as the temporary admin assistant, and he has been doing a great job and kind of organizing us. And as someone, which kind of makes me want to, chagrin a little bit, but someone who's younger is bringing in new technology practices into the office, which is nice to see happening too. So a big shout out to him. Kindergarten and pre-K have their play date set for August 24th for 5:30 to 7 p.m. So students can come meet the teachers. Ms. West and Mrs. Earhart and myself will be there doing tours of the building for the students as they're getting ready for their first day of school. So that's exciting. Also, I know this is the one thing that everybody's really waiting on are the class placement letters, which as Mrs. Higgins mentioned, have been in the process of being stuffed with lots of great materials that are headed out this year. So those will be going out this week. So that'll be another great thing. And then our PTO has 3 new officers this year, and they have been in to meet with me and discuss some of their goals around how they can better support ASA in the coming school year. And they're going to be working on things about generating more opportunities for community engagement, for families to connect with one another, supporting more gardening efforts. And additionally, all 3 of the new officers would also like to work towards creating those stronger connections between ASA and UMaine and how those pieces can better support our teachers and our curriculum in different areas. So moving on, just as we're getting ready to plan for next year, Ms. West and I are planning to set up a time with Susan Smith to do some planning forward for our curriculum work and to be thinking about how we can improve our coaching and intervention program based on some of the things that we brought back with us from the Massachusetts Reading Association conference last year. There was some really great learning that happened there, and we'll be working with Allison Woodard as well to put some of those things in place. And we're excited to map that out for next school year. And other than that, I know Ms. West and myself will be excited to attend the Danielson training that's happening in the district next week, along with Angie McLaughlin and Jody Shaw. So that's all I have for you.
Great, thank you. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll go ahead with Richard.
Good evening, everyone. Good to see you all. Lots going on at the middle school this summer. First off, I wanted to shout out to Bill and his staff. The floors in particular look really good all around the building, and I know they put in a lot of hard work this summer getting things ready. And summer school that ended strong. Also want to shout out to I hope I don't miss anyone, but Jess Archer, Chris Gray, Deb White, Thana King, Tina Thibodeau were among others were represented the middle school staff during summer school, and a lot of smiling faces throughout the day. Lisa Pelletier is attending the Danielson training along with us coming up. And and then, as I shared in my report, my board report, the instructional groups are finished for the most part. Small little tweaks here and there right at this point, but we're for the most part ready to go. And I plan on sharing those out with families in about a week or so, mid-August. And so that's coming right up. And we're going to use Power School to share out student schedules this year, trying to keep things electronic. And one big change that I guess it's sort of a big change, but it's kind of a revert back to an old way of doing things. During the pandemic, we kind of lightened up on student cell phone use, and last year in particular, we found it to be, somewhat of a distraction to student learning, and so we're going to go back to keeping cell phones in the student lockers during the school day as sort of as a general rule. And so I've been rolling out in my parent communications this information, and I want to kind of ramp that up to get word out that's kind of the way we want to go this fall. So student cell phones, okay, but in the locker during the school day. And we have a Penobscot Valley Middle League meeting coming up on August 22nd to sports schedules have been shared among the leagues and various schools. So we're ready to go with fall sports, and that meeting will just kind of finalize things for the kickoff of the fall athletic season. I wanted to talk a little bit about our Tier 2 school identification. We've learned, Susan shared some information with me, and we did some digging around and contacted the state, and so there's a number of things that we need to do and focus on. And like I noted earlier in the spring, that these are things we should be doing anyhow, and so I look at it with kind of that through that lens, and so we need to dig into our data, our test scores, and see what that looks like, and what we learned from that, and define what are our strengths and what are our weaknesses, and work to address those. So, but one thing that we're doing or looking at is an evidence-based intervention. And this is one thing that the state guidance, pointed us in that direction. And so there's a number of things that we can consider. And I think next steps would be, and we've already kind of begun doing some of the legwork here, but getting teachers together and looking at, forming a committee within our school and looking at how we tackle this problem. And optimistically, I see some of the things that we're doing, and I listed a few of those, but team teaching this year, student groupings is, we're doing some creative things with student groupings and course offerings. I think how we use our advisory period is going to be important. Our diversity and equity and support, ideas that are growing from our work in that area is helping to support, and most importantly, our PBIS team looking at students who may be struggling at school and trying to find solutions. So I think a lot of the things that we're doing will help support this Tier 2 work. And so stay tuned, more to come on that as we move into the school year. And let's see,
Right.
what else? Whoops, sorry. Was there a question?
No, sorry, just a lag. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Enrollment numbers are down slightly from last year. I think less than 10, but eight or so students right now. And of course we have the smaller sixth grade at 38 students. And our high number grade is seventh grade at 61. So that's a fairly sizable cohort relatively compared to our numbers in recent years. And that's what I have for tonight.
Great, thank you. Any questions, sir? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to the high school. Sam and Meredith.
Hello, everybody. It's nice to see you all, and certainly hoping you guys are finally enjoying the weather when you get out of here that's not raining right now. But I want to echo and in this some of the same things that have been said previously. So I apologize, but I feel like they warrant being echoed. But first, I want to say that I looked back, and since our last board meeting was before graduation week, I just wanted to recognize, along with, I know Meredith did as well, just how successful and amazing our graduation week was. And that included the baccalaureate night for our graduating seniors. It included the 9th through 11th grade award day. It included the graduation tour, which was eventful and had its hiccups, but really was enjoyed by our students. Myself, I was lucky enough to go, and also all the schools that we visited. And then finally with the graduation at the culminating end of the Sunday of that week, just a great way to really celebrate our students, celebrate our staff, and all of the families and friends that were there. It was just a really fantastic week. So thank you to everybody, and congratulations once again to the class of 2023. Our student council also that last week of school held the 4th annual Ocella, which this year was a big hit. We had even more events that they could participate in, such as like face painting, musical talents, yard games, and even a tarot card reader. And many kids chose to come out throughout the evening and really enjoy time together, celebrate the year, and start their summer off with a good experience. So thank you to the student council, Kim Emerson, Heidi Clark, and the many other staff members and students that were a part of that evening. Over the summer, we have a student, Ruth White, who we all know and respect greatly for her running capabilities, and she has had an amazing summer. She earned the 2023 Gatorade Outdoor Track and Field Female Athlete of the Year for the state of Maine. She's received this for the first time for outdoor track, but as we know, has received it twice now for cross country. Additionally, she also competed in the New England Track and Field Championships, where she won the 2-mile race and also competed in the mile. And then I believe this past weekend, she won the Beach to Beacon, I think is what it's called. So she just, and I happened to driving to work today. She ran by my car. So she just continues to be amazing. And we just really support her and her efforts, and she brings a lot to our school community, athletically, obviously, but also within our daily. So congratulations, Ruth. We also had some other students who competed in the National Track and Field Championships in North Carolina. It really represented Orono High School well. Those were Will Francis, Owen Connor Self, Caleb Firkin, Dom Ondo, Ashton Paul, and Ruth White. So congratulations to them, and thanks to those who went with them to help them in that effort. And Chris Libby was chosen as the Portland Sunday Telegram Girls Outdoor Track and Field Coach of the Year, which is pretty amazing for him. And last season, both of our girls and boys teams won the Class C state titles. So congratulations, Coach Libby, and thank you for your continued efforts with our athletes. With this families and kind of carrying forward with that same message, this Sunday, we are having both our fall sports information night and our performing arts information night for students and families. The performing arts one will begin at 5 o'clock in the Orono Performing Arts Center, and the fall sports meeting will begin at 6 in the gym. And this gives an opportunity for parents and athletes to come get questions and necessarily info from Mike Archer, myself, and Susan Smith will be joining us this year, as well as to meet the coaches or directors, and really get to put a face to a name, answer questions specific to their activities, and just really start the preseason off for the athletes. And then the Performing Arts Fall Musical will start in a week or so after that, but it really starts to build that energy and excitement for the fall, which we all love to be a part of. And also our parent advisory group this year, we are going to hold them quarterly. And we are going to pick very soon a date and time and a topic for the first one. And we're hoping by doing it quarterly, it'll better fit more people's schedules so that the attendance can be higher, which will hopefully bring about better conversation, better discussion, and so really give us some feedback and some help in areas that we want to continue working on to better our school for our students and staff and community. And finally, the thing I was going to echo is we just really thank everybody on Bill Cody's crew that have worked really hard. And not only have they worked hard, they're like upbeat, they're happy, they sing, they dance, they joke with each other. It's just been a really great environment within the schools this summer, and just really truthfully thank you to all of you. It looks great, and we're ready to go, which is awesome. There it is.
Singing and dancing.
I know, I was thinking.
I see the singing and dancing. It happened today, and I joined in. I got paint on my shoe, but that's beside the point. It was quite fun.
We'll have to come in to see that.
Thanks, Sam. So the building has been fairly empty, but I have a few threads of some of the work that is going on outside of the building to share with you. We have had a significant investment this summer in the time and energy by teachers in preparation for AP course instruction for next year. Katie Quirk and her new extension of AP seminar is going to be leading our first section of AP research for 15 students in the fall. So she started the summer off with an institute for training in that. Rochelle Bohm in taking over AP US Government and Politics from Shauna. She attended a training in preparation for that. And Margie Innes attended a training for our new class in AP Pre-Calculus. So I just want to, express gratitude for those teachers and their commitment over the summer to serving our students in those content areas. Holly and I had a chance to go down to the USM's Tourism, Hospitality, and Outdoor Recreation Conference at USM, which was really instructive in this realm of study that transcends our state's 7 campuses. It also gave our students the chance to earn a $1,000 scholarship this coming spring, which was frankly part of the motivation for going. But of greater interest to me is the fact that this is a cross campus collaboration that brings together the UMaine's 7 campuses in an effort to garner both awareness of and support for and interest in a particular element of student programming that research and economic development demonstrates is the fastest growing area of work in the state of Maine. And it made me optimistic about the ways in which this potentially could be a cross-campus example of other forms of collaboration that will allow us to bring our students even more opportunities in the future. Jeff Owen has been working closely with Angie Reed from the Penobscot Nation's Water Resources Division in exploring options for bringing the 9th grade science curriculum to a place that is more rooted in our location on the shores of the Penobscot River and on Wabanaki land. And as part of that, this summer, he was invited to participate in the 3rd annual Portland Schools Curriculum Intensive on Sugar Island. As part of their Wabanaki studies work, the Portland Public Schools has done this program for 3 years now in an effort to raise capacity for Portland teachers in serving students in the realm of Wabanaki studies. And this we're hoping is going to be the beginning of a more in-depth collaboration between us and them, particularly with respect to the fact that, we are here on the shores of the Penobscot. We don't need to travel 2 hours north to attend this training. And so Jeff has been doing a lot of work in building that relationship. And I look forward to seeing where that goes, both with respect for our science programming and our 9th grade planning. There will be, I think, some growth and talk about how we serve ninth graders in the years to come, because of the commitment by ninth grade teachers to think deeply about this and consider what the possibilities might be. And we also have 3 OHS teachers attending the first day of the Danielson Summer Institute next week, which is a great chance to talk, teacher to administrator about our model for supervision evaluation and how we can make sure that it is implemented with fidelity. I also want to mention that Christy Boyd, even in her retirement, has really been indispensable in helping onboard one of our new teachers, our new technology teacher, Emma Bard. So I want to give Christy a shout out for her willingness to really step up and help facilitate that transition. And that concludes our report for tonight.
Thank you. Any questions? The camera zoomed in now, but I think I saw our student reps earlier. Any report or acknowledgements or anything the students want to chime in with?
Summer does feel long enough for our students. Most of us are very excited about getting back to school and stay away. No really teachers in class, but most of us are trying to stave off senioritis right now. And I don't think that was heard by anyone. And also, can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear a voice. To be honest, I'm having a hard time hearing the words.
I feel like I'm in a cell phone commercial. Yeah, a big thank you to all of our teachers that have put up with us last year and are going to put up with us next year. Thank you to Mr. Cody for all the hard work. And about all the new people.
Can we pause? Jason's going to troubleshoot, so.
Okay.
Now,
Still a little pretty echoey.
all right. Yeah, it might be time to replace the owl.
Those little black discs, I think, work pretty well. But anyway, yeah, or maybe it's a new owl.
Dorsa, did you want anything you wanted to try?
I mean, I think Marissa covered everything that I wanted to say. Oh, also, we're very excited about the training we're going to.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Thank you. I know that I responded like 3 weeks late. The email was in my inbox the day after my program started. So thank you so much for that. I'm very excited to go.
We're glad we have student reps who are excited about receiving training. So that's great. By the way, I heard that much better. So whatever just happened worked.
Great. So Dorsa and Marissa are going to student board representative training that AASA is sponsoring, or AASB. It's the National Association for School Boards. So thank you for your willingness to be a part of it.
Thank you for providing this opportunity. I'm very enthusiastic.
Awesome. All right, shall we transition to my report?
Yes, please.
All right, please give me a signal if something stops working.
Good so far.
So I think every principal report so far has mentioned the Danielson training. So that's 3 days next week. Susan's been planning this for what feels like a year or so. I don't know, at least 6 months. And we're bringing someone from the Danielson Institute here. We attended a training just like this, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, that R64 sponsored, and it was just really valuable, and we wanted to bring that back to the area since there is an update to the model. And as you heard, we have teaching staff coming to the training and all the administrative team. We've invited area districts, especially those who have the Danielson model in place, so they are also have people coming from other districts to help prepare want to just thank Susan for her efforts to put this together for us because it's been no small undertaking. Want to just give an update on staffing. I feel like I talked to another superintendent today. We were talking about a superintendent's agreement and started talking about staffing, and I feel very fortunate about where we are. I think we're in a better place than we've been the past few years for sure, and better than what I'm hearing around us. But we are almost, I would say, almost all hired. We have several things in process that feel like they're heading towards completion really soon. We're going to bring forward, as you know, a candidate for the choir position tonight. There's active interviews happening for custodial vacancies for the admin assistant ASA. The three areas where we're still hoping to get more applicants would be the van driver position. We need several more ed techs, and then I think we're still looking for a long-term sub for math for the middle school. Is that right, Richard?
That is correct. And we just started to receive a number of applications just in the last few days, fortunately.
Yeah, that's the kind of position that you would at late summer begin to get applications from people who maybe haven't secured the job they were hoping to secure over the summer. So those are the areas we're still seeking more applicants for at this time. But again, I'm feeling a lot more optimistic than I have previous years. There's quite a bit happening this summer on the facilities front. I just want to give you a small update on that. In terms of capital improvement facilities work. The ASA kitchen and storage room renovation project got started about a little over a week ago, and they're making good progress. They are slated to complete that project in late October, and so far, just a couple of unexpected findings as they tore down walls, but nothing that's problematic. And they'll be putting up a kind of a separation wall once we get close to the start of the school year, so they can have access to that storage room where they're working in addition to the larger kitchen. Today we had the bid opening for the ASA HVAC project. And we had 2 bids for that project, and they both came in well under our budget, which is great news. And we will likely be bringing a recommendation to the next meeting. We just wanted for Haley Ward to check out some things about one of the contractors we're less familiar with before we make a final decision on which to go with. The central office project, the bid opening for that will be next week on the 17th. And we had 3 contractors come to the not required walkthrough. So we think that's a good sign. And, so we're anxiously awaiting the results of that bid as well. We're in the midst of the refinance of our ban. You may remember when we took out the large bond, we had a large like 11 million and some change bond, and then we had a smaller $4.3 million bond, and that's we did a creative financing so we could wait to have that fully in effect with paying principal and interest when our QSAB bond is done in 2025 or 6. So we've just completed a 3-year bond anticipation note, and that's going to roll now into a bullet bond for 2 years. And then that will finally roll, the last roll will be in 2025 into a refunding bond that will be to the length of the other bond. So we're in the process of having, a new Standard & Poor's rating, and what's the other one, Brian?
Moody's. But you just cut out. I assume you're working on sound because we can't hear anything.
Oh, no.
I hear that.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Just barely heard your last word.
Okay, I'm gonna come closer.
We can pass around the owl.
Okay, can you hear close like this?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, I'll stand close. So I was just finishing by saying I can't imagine going through this process without our bond advisor. And finally, one other item that was on the agenda for my report, the strategic plan stakeholder feedback plan, and what we have slated for that. I sent out that information to the leadership team, so all board members are on that. Dorsa probably got it, all the administrators are on it. So as you know, we're starting off the school year with staff, going to do a feedback session, or solicit feedback from staff on our opening day, and then replicate a very similar process with parents and community members on September 18th that will be folded into a chili dinner to try to bring people out that evening. And then we'll take all that information and put together a survey to send out to district-wide to try to get even more feedback. So that's what the subcommittee came up with this summer, and we feel like it will hopefully get good participation, particularly with parents and community. We have, staff is a captive audience, so we know we'll have good representative feedback there. But for is it still working?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for parents, community, please, if you can spread the word, help us get the word out. We're putting it in lots of different outlets, and so hopefully that will get folks' attention. It's going out in all the letters that Carrie mentioned. It's, one of the things being stuffed in every student envelope going home this week. That's all that I had in my report.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? I mean, we say we're done with construction, but there's clearly a lot of moving pieces still going on with construction. So, which is good. We're getting new things done. But yeah, Bill and Meredith are spending a lot of time on that. Next up, we have staff nominations. We've got a teacher hire, so I would make a motion to go into executive session under 1 MRSA 4056A, appointment of personnel. Is there a second? Okay, I saw Mark mouth yes, but I didn't actually hear that for what it's worth. We'll go ahead and take a vote. Jake?
Aye.
Thank you. I could hear you yelling. Mark?
Aye.
I also vote aye. We'll go into executive session. So I will quit here and I'll see you on the Google link.
Unmuted.
Lisa Smith, can you hear me? You heard. Dan,
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Hopefully that works for some time.
Sorry, I was muted and answered you, but yes.
I think we're still waiting on Brian. Is he
I
in the
don't
waiting
see, I
room?
don't see him
There he
here.
is. He's in the waiting room. He didn't pop off.
All right, everybody back?
Yes.
Okay, Meredith, do you have a nomination for the OMS OHS choral position?
Yes, I nominate Molly Webster for the position of choral music teacher.
I would make a motion to authorize the superintendent to enter into a contract with Molly Webster for the middle school, high school choral teacher. Is there a second?
All right, second.
Any discussion? We'll go ahead and vote. Jake?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
I also vote aye. Passes 3-0. Next up, we have a slate of co-curriculars. I would make a motion to approve the slate of co-curriculars as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Let me just pull it up and read it quickly. Sally Pace, AM duty at OHS, Chad Kirkpatrick, soccer, middle school boys soccer A, Jenna Costa, girls soccer A at the middle school. This is all middle school. Chris Gray, boys soccer B, Ellie Pierce, field hockey A, Jamie Arsenault, cross country, Dave Hamill, boys A basketball team, Kristen Espling, boys B basketball team, Elisa Kubesh, girls A basketball team, Ellie Pierce, girls B basketball team, Jen Branchflower, Nordic ski, Dave Hamill, baseball A, Steve Van Dolman, baseball B, Chad Kirkpatrick, softball A, Tracy DeShane, softball B, Jamie Arsenault, track, Chris Gray, track, Holly Gunn, Special Olympics, Logan Bard, musical director, Robbie Sinclair, football coach, head football coach, Logan Bard, drama, music and musical director, Emma Bard. Sorry, we just switched to the high school. Logan Bard for the high school drama, musical music director, and Emma Bard for the drama music choreographer. Is there any discussion or questions?
Does the lack of a middle school girls B soccer coach mean that we don't anticipate having the numbers, or that we don't have a coach?
There's not much sheet.
Wasn't one.
There wasn't?
I thought maybe we previously approved it, that's why I didn't say.
No, I put it in there and I don't know. Yeah, it's on mine, sorry. It's Alyssa Kubish, middle school girls soccer B.
Good. So we'll add that to the list that we're approving.
Yes.
Yes.
It is on the
Yeah,
list.
it
You
is.
said
Okay.
Alyssa Kubish?
Yeah,
She's on here as middle school, middle school girls A basketball.
she's also that.
Oh, okay.
So I think, I don't know, Brian, did you have Alyssa Kubish on yours?
I don't see that for soccer, so I guess I would make a motion to amend, well, I said
Yeah.
approved as presented, but as presented doesn't include it. So I'd make a motion to amend the motion to add Alyssa Kubish as girls soccer B. Is there a second?
Second.
Go ahead and vote, Jake,
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
I also vote aye. So now we have the list as presented with an addition. Any further discussion? We'll go ahead and vote. Jake,
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
I also vote aye. Carries 3-0. Next up, we have a school physician. We have to appoint one by law every year. Meredith, do you have a nomination?
Yes, I am very grateful that Dr. Diane Breen is willing to continue in this capacity, and Northern Light is willing to, allow for that to happen. So I nominate Dr. Breen to continue as our school physician with much gratitude.
Great. Agreed about the gratitude, just so I make the motion correctly. You actually sign a contract now with Northern Light?
The one that we signed before can continue to be in effect, but
Okay.
yes, it is with Northern Light.
Okay, I would make a motion to appoint Diane Callan-Breen as the school physician for the coming year and for the superintendent to enter into any necessary agreements. Is there a second?
I second.
Any further discussion? Go ahead and vote. Jake,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
also vote aye. Thank you. Next up, we have approval of the supervision and evaluation plan. Is there a presentation on that?
Yeah, I'm going to turn it over to Shauna and Richard, who chair the supervision evaluation group, to just highlight any changes. I don't think there are many, but I'm gonna let them talk about what's in the plan that's presented at this time.
Hey, Shauna. Like me to start? That okay?
Sure,
Okay,
this is quick and
okay.
easy this year, I can assure
Yeah,
everyone.
it shouldn't take too long here. So, okay, so our steering committee, SEG, we call it SCG, Supervision Evaluation Committee, is made up of teachers, administrators, and other administrative staff, and it's a majority of teachers chosen by the Orono Education Association. And our work is done by consensus, and we define consensus as 75% majority of the group, and both Chair Shauna and I must agree. So it's an active group, and pretty similar members over my time over the last 5 years. So for this coming year, we're looking at reviewing the Danielson, the new Danielson framework that we're going to the Danielson training next week to learn more about. And we're bringing some teachers and administrators, and there's been some changes. They've included some SEL components, and just some other updates and things to consider as part of the supervision and evaluation. So we wanted to learn more about that, and then this coming school year, or the work of our committee will focus on adopting new changes and incorporating them in. And next year, maybe we'll have a much longer report. With, some of the
So
new
this year, there are essentially no changes to the plan at all. This time next year, you'll probably need a more thorough read and have some questions. But there are no changes to the plan at all this year. I think maybe a typo or two was corrected, but that's it.
We have a list of things we're interested in looking at, but we've decided that really we should incorporate all of those things we want to look at alongside, our understanding of the updated rubric. So that's why we've just kind of kicked the can down the road on things that came up this year that we wanted to consider some clarifications, but thought, let's roll them all together once we have this training and better understanding. So
the training is very valuable, and unfortunately, as the co-chair, I'm not able to attend. I have some exciting things going on. But I know the team that we're sending of members from the group have the questions that we've talked about and are really excited to sort of soak up and learn more from the Danielson team about all the new changes, and also ways that we can really stick to the sort of fidelity of the Danielson system. So
I think the other thing is, we're past due on training. I think it's been 5 years since we've sent a team, and we've had a lot of changes in that time. So I think this will be really helpful to inform our work moving forward.
So I had one question. The data portfolio, I know that's moved around over the years. At one point, I think it was 5%. And I can't remember what the current state, could somebody just remind, the current state law allows it to be 0 to 5%. And right now it's sort of officially 0%, but we're asking for it as part of the portfolio. Is that correct?
that is correct. Is part of the portfolio.
That's correct, Ryan. And sorry, Shauna, I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No worries. No, you're good.
I was just going to say, it's worth 20, the portfolio, which that's a part of, is worth 20% of the overall evaluation, and with the other 80% being on the classroom observations, the FOFAs. The other 80%, sorry.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess I've said this before. I have an interest. We have such an emphasis on data in this district. I think I would have an interest in seeing data have a stronger role in the future going forward. So I'll just I'm not on the committee, but I do have to approve it. So I just express that as an interest to explore further.
And that is one of the things that we are investigating. And as Meredith said, we didn't want to make any sort of wholesale changes this year with the Danielson training coming up and the sort of moving to the updated system. That is something that we are going to take a strong look at from the perspective of, our practitioners, our teachers in the classroom, what, is effective, what is an effective data project for them as well. So it's a true, authentic activity that brings benefit to them as well, and how that meshes with the Danielson system. So we're looking forward to some heavy lifting and work on that this year as well.
I think one of the challenges that we faced is how do we make that work meaningful depending on what role you're in, right? Like it's different depending on what role you're in. So that's been a challenge, but we're learning a lot from some of the EDIP projects that we've been collecting and how people can use that, in a way that is relevant for them. That's our goal,
Yeah, I'm totally on board with this year with the decision and the timing and the position to go with the status quo. And I'm totally on board with figuring out how to make it effective. Nobody wants to make busy work out of this process. So, but I just think this district has chosen to place a strong emphasis on data. Right, we added a data analyst piece to the budget this year, and we do data reports, and it just feels to me kind of inconsistent with the district values overall. So totally fine with it this year, but I guess just an expression of a thought. Anything else from the board or any other questions? We'll go ahead and make a vote. I would make a motion to approve the evaluation plan as presented. Is there a second?
A second.
Any other discussion? Oh, sorry. Yeah, any discussion? We'll go ahead and vote. Jake?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
I also vote aye. Next up is the emergency response plan. I think if we have any questions, they should probably be an executive session, which I can call. I don't know. Any board member have a question, or are we prepared to vote? No question from Mark. Anything you wanted to ask, Jake?
No.
Meredith, any reason you think we need an executive session?
No, the plan is really the same. We made a very small adjustment and just updated names, but one small adjustment to really remove a COVID kind of caveat from the plan in one place. But other than that, it's all the same.
All right, sounds like we're ready to go ahead and vote. I would make a motion to approve the emergency action plan as presented. Emergency response plan as presented for the coming school year. Is there a second?
A second.
Any discussion or questions? We'll go ahead and vote. Jake?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
I also vote aye. I would make a motion to allow the district to accept the $5,000 grant from the Friends of Acadia for the outdoor classroom. Is there a second?
A second.
Just express gratitude to Friends of Acadia as well as to Jessica Archer for her work pursuing funding to pursue the garden, which has been a fantastic addition. Any other comments or questions?
Jess has got quite the record now of successful grant application, which is to thank her for this one, but for all that work. It's a lot of work to hunt down those grants, fill them out, and then actually fill them out to the point where you're successful in getting them. So great work by Jess as always.
We'll go ahead and vote. Jake?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
I also vote aye. Passes 3-0. Next up, we have the MOU with the OEA regarding adjustment to the SP scale to be in alignment with minimum wage. Same thing. We could go into executive session. But on the other hand, we've had a chance to look at it. I think it's pretty clear. Anybody want or need to go into executive session? No. Okay. I would make a motion to approve the MOU with the OEA regarding adjustment to the SP scale as presented. Is there a second?
A second.
Any questions or comments? We'll go ahead and vote. Jake,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
I
Aye.
also vote aye. Okay, I'm sorry,
You and Shauna, a DocuSign will come to both of you.
DocuSign. Yep, I'll be looking for it. Yep, looked like technically in the emergency response plan, I think I was supposed to sign that too. So could do that by DocuSign, or at least one of the other documents I saw went by had a board chair. But anyway, we'll figure that out.
Okay.
Or maybe it was the supervision and evaluation actually, but whatever it is, I'll look for DocuSigns. So we're on to subcommittee reports. Policy subcommittee hasn't met. It will be meeting the first Thursday in September. Meredith and I got a notice for the Drummond and Woodson workshop on, this is an annual cycle. The legislature meets and creates new changes for the schools. We go find out what they are and incorporate them in our policies. But so we won't have that by the September 6th meeting, but we probably will go ahead and meet on, sorry, I don't know, September 6th, whatever the first Thursday in September is. We'll go ahead and meet and probably just talk about the goals for the year. UTC, Kevin's not here. Imagine nothing's updated there. Anything from Spruce, Jake?
No.
Curriculum hasn't met since the last report on curriculum. I'm meeting on the second Thursday of September. Facilities and buildings, you heard all the details from Meredith. Wellness, I don't think is met. DI leadership hasn't met since the last report. Strategic plan, you heard an update from Meredith. I think that's a quick run through the committees. Anything I'm missing? Okay.
Did we get any kind of an update on, I think maybe you did tell us this and I can't remember what you told us, but on the possibility of the UTC programming coming here?
There's really not an update at this time. We're going to meet again after the start of the school year and, begin thinking about putting forward an application that would then allow us to get in the queue for it.
Okay, and space was one of the primary concerns, right, in the area to put this?
It is a concern, but it's something that depending on programming, that's something that we'll be looking at in the fall when we think about, programming, do some surveying and see what the interests are.
I don't know about the survey.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Is there any other business?
There is something I forgot to report on. Can I just say this?
Go for it.
Your question at UTC reminded me. Our JMG teacher, there's going to be a change there. Kelsey Walden left to take another position. And so JMG runs that search and they're in the process of reviewing applications now. And I think next week, Sam, you and others will be joining them for the interview.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing interviews on Monday, the 14th from 1 to 4.
Okay, thanks for the update. Any requests for future agenda items? Any public comment? Seeing none. Our next board meeting is August 22nd at 6 p.m. On Zoom and in the library. And I would start to highlight the September 18th chili supper. So please talk that up and spread that around to everybody. I know principals probably are already working on that, but board members can help too. Any requests for information or follow-up?
I actually have one on that. I was wondering if we could get, we meaning Meredith probably, if we could get an update from the town on what the crossing guard situation is gonna look like. Is Ed gonna be back at Westwood, or if so, awesome. If not, what's the alternative plan?
Yep.
And then also we've got the long veteran crossing guard downtown. Just an update on if that's gonna be the same person or someone new, or
Yep.
so we know going into the school year.
Yeah, I'll
Thank
find
you.
out. I haven't heard anything, so I'll find out.
That could be good or that could be good.
Right, it'd be awesome if it's Ed and the
Yeah, that would be awesome.
one who's been there forever and the other one.
Yes.
Any other requests for information or follow-up? Okay, I would motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, sorry, can't do that. Jake,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
I also vote aye. Carries 3-0. Thank you, everybody.